Your painfully weak knee doesn't need 3 times 12 reps. What your knee needs is 3 times 100 reps. Let me explain why. But before I explain why, a little disclaimer as well. This is no medical advice. This is based on my personal experience, personal research, and also case studies after helping others build their knee ability back to extreme levels where they can enjoy what they want to be doing the same way I've built back my knee ability after having struggled with knee issues for over 7 years. Okay? So that's what it's based on. It's based on real time experience and on pretty much common sense as well, which you will realize once I explain you why we do 3 times 100 reps and not 3 times 12. The simple reason is what you got to ask yourself, what happens when you have knee pain, or when you go through a surgery, or when you're struggling with chronic knee issues for years and years. Typical things that we observe: muscles atrophy. Okay, muscles are not activating like they should be because now we're avoiding, we're compensating, we're trying to not load that area. Okay, and what also happens is that you lose, right? Neurological connection often happens after surgeries, or another case happened for me, for example, chronic degeneration in the patella tendon. You start to develop different neurological patterns, right? Or you actually think you feel something where when you don't really, when there's really nothing wrong, you think you feel pain when there's really nothing wrong. So all of these things that can go wrong with muscle activation, how the muscles actually work, right? Are they working? Have they atrophied? Are they doing their job? And do you feel the right thing? Okay, all these things can happen, and so it's really a question of how do you get back your muscles? How do you rebuild the neurological connection? How do you get back that confident feeling? And how do you get rid of that limitation in your mind, or that like trick in your mind where you think you feel pain and you don't feel pain? Now, this is based on my personal experience. It might be different for each person, but generally speaking, we could say that no person is going to complain when they get a nice pump, when they feel good muscle activation. And that's what usually people try to get as well, right? They try and go to the gym or try and work out and get a good pump, but it often fails, or they often feel pain, make their knee feel worse before they even get to the pump. Okay, so it's a big problem, because then we're not rebuilding the neurological connection, we're just reinforcing the pain, and we're not getting the positive adaptations that we want, right? So the reason why with 12 reps you're not much less likely to get that pump and get those positive adaptations compared to 100 reps is because we're doing different exercises, right? You're not going to do 100 reps of full barbell squats or Bulgarian split squats or whatever you want to really load your quad with, but we're going to do 100 reps of band and knee extensions, for example, because it's a much easier exercise. It's not putting a lot of pressure on your connective tissue, right? It's not putting that connective tissue within your knee under so much tension where you, let's say, start compensating again, and then you reinforce bad patterns, right? That you want to get rid of. But you actually just simply get the blood flowing and circulation going and the muscles pumping. Okay, so you really squeeze here, boom, you really feel that quad. And if you do this, maybe initially you won't feel it a lot, but just by doing this and really focusing, having your mind think about the quad all the time for 100 reps, 3 times, which accumulates 300 reps, I guess you're gonna feel something, okay? At least much more likely than when you simply just do 3 times 12 reps and you start compensating, or you can't get the pump, it's too heavy, too soon before you get the pump. Bend and knee extensions, great. Backwards walking, another great thing. Backwards walking was really what gave my knee hope again, in terms of, wow, I can actually feel a great quad pump without making my knee feel worse, especially backwards walking with resistance, okay, on a turn of treadmill or with a sled, right? Or if you are on a football pitch like I am, pull the goals. No matter if people look at you crazy, do what you got to do in order to get your knee to feel better and rebuild that confidence, the connection. Okay, this already does a lot. And it's not that you always have to aim for 3 times 100 reps. What I want to emphasize is that you should really think of aiming for higher reps or longer duration. Same goes for isometrics. Instead of loading your isometric really heavy, if you haven't had success with that, go light. Okay, go with an easy one and hold it for 2 minutes. You're gonna feel activation, right? And the activation is probably gonna be much different, right? Like all of your tissues have to work, your fascia as well. Like if you hold isometrics for a very long time, this hasn't been a secret. There has been people doing that, but it's just maybe that you haven't discovered this yet, right? Long duration isometrics, and then also high repetition of a low impact exercise is what will really allow you to rebuild the neurological connection. Repetition over and over again. How does a kid learn to walk? Not by going, oh yeah, let me do 3 times 15 reps of trying to walk. No, it just goes and tries and tries and tries and tries until it can. So it's hundreds and hundreds of repetition for those neurological patterns to build, right, from the ground up. Now, if you've lost those neurological patterns or you got to rewire them, it might require even more work now because you're not a kid anymore and you have maybe different patterns, worse patterns, false patterns, and you want to rewire the proper firing of the muscles. You gotta put in the work, okay? But it's nice to know that if you do this consistently, you're not only getting that pleasure pump, right? That healing, that blood flow, that circulation that you need, but you're also doing your body a favor in terms of neurological connection, building up the confidence again, which will then allow you to go into other exercise that actually put your joint under more pressure, that actually get you those adaptations. Well, amazing. Cheers, Wish. Appreciate that. I'm just trying to help people with their knees here. If you do these exercises, get that pump, make your knee feel good, have the muscles activate like they should be activating. That's when you can then go into the other stuff that previously wouldn't have you feel good, okay, or would even have you regress, because now that makes a big difference. If you have the pump already, if you have the circulation going, and if the muscles are firing correctly, it makes a big difference. Now you can go and push more in an ATG split squat. You can go into a long range of motion, which actually targets the connective tissue much more and really rebuilds the joint. Okay, again, this is what we do. First, we rejuvenate, right? First phase of our 3R framework, right? 3R return to sport framework. Rejuvenate. Then we rebuild, okay? And even within a workout, we use the same approach. It's first we generate the blood flow, then we go into rebuilding. And this is really the secret behind what we, for example, are doing compared to what you've been doing maybe, and that hasn't worked, okay? That keeps you regressing. So I hope this helps. Hope all of this rant here made sense as well. And you can go and take some action now. Bandit, like a resistance band is all you need. Some space to walk backwards is all you need to start with. Another exercise that I really like is something like this. Boom. Really great. All for the front of the knee. Same goes for the hamstrings. Pump them up. Boom. Knee flexors. Okay. It's the front and the back of your knee that you've got to be working on. Even pumping up your lower legs. Okay. Tips. Boom. Knee over toe calf raises. Right. Boom. Isometric for the knee whilst you're pumping your lower leg up. All of this is some of the lowest level stuff that you could start doing. And you should keep doing, even I'm doing all of this stuff still, because it's gonna just allow you to push much harder with what is gonna come afterwards, okay? Which is gonna allow you then to make positive adaptations in the gains well. Hope this helps. If it did, make sure to subscribe, leave a comment. I'd really appreciate some feedback on these videos, so I know if this actually is helpful. If it is, obviously, let me know and share it with someone that could benefit from it. The more people that know about this stuff, the better of world it's going to be, because being in knee pain is not nice. Okay. And if you're out of knee pain, you're going to be probably a better person, or at least have more freedom in your mind, right? Have a more open mind, open space, get new ideas. It's changed my life. So I hope it may be the start of a big change in your life too. See you in the next video. Peace.